Hey, what's going on out there? You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. I am Uncle Steve, and welcome into the lounge. We appreciate you. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there celebrating, and hopefully we get to celebrate them uh, every day, but today especially to those fathers out there. Hope you had a great day. We're going to talk Falcons when you get back. We can talk anything you want to actually when we get back. But we're going to talk about the most important non quarterback player for the Atlanta Falcons, in your opinion. The most important non quarterback player on this roster that we need to come through in order for us to have a successful campaign in 2025. I have my thoughts. I'm sure you have yours. Let's talk about it on the other side in Uncle Steve's Lounge.
You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Gonna sit down, have a good time. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge. You're in Uncle Steve's Lounge.
Hey, how you doing today? It is Sunday, June 15th, and it is Father's Day. Again, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. Appreciate you. And all those dads watching from up top, watching down on their children and making sure they're still doing well on this earth. We appreciate them as well. I am your Uncle Steve. I am here in Uncle Steve's Lounge to talk to you today about whatever you want to talk about, quite honestly. This is usually the Sunday brunch. So we kind of put a plethora of ideas out there for us to talk about. But one of the things that I wanted to key in on was something I was thinking about. We've talked so much this off season about, the Kirk Cousins, Michael Penix saga and all of that. I mean, not on Michael Penix's part, but more on Kirk Cousins' part. Now that it seems like that's kind of settling in the dust, uh, it's about time to start talking about the rest of this roster and who are the folks that we need to show up in order for us to have a successful 2025 season. I'm sure there are some obvious folks out there that we will mention, but I wanted to see what your mind was thinking about the most important player, non-quarterback. So it can't be Kirk Cousins. I know y'all would say it anyway. It can't be Michael Penix, but the most important player, not the best player, not the most talented player, the player in your mind that we're going to have show up in 2025 in order for us to have a successful season. One of the reasons I was going over this is because I started a couple of weeks ago looking at this roster, and I truly love what we've done in the off season, some of the things we've done to fill in the spots on this team. But I also started looking at specific areas to say, okay, did we really improve with that, or is on paper that looks like a better move? And when you start weighing out what it looks like to what's really expected of that player, you start wondering, man, was that as good of a move? Did Terry really cook on some of the free agent moves? I think he did for the most part. But now that all of that is done, the roster is pretty much at a point where, we're getting ready to go into the training camp and cut down to the 53. But those players that you pretty much know are going to be on the team, or in a couple of cases, maybe not, are they are what do we need from specific guys on this team to be effective in 2025? My example, my big example, is going to be in our special teams game. I am very, very concerned about the Younghoe Koo saga. And I know we signed Lenny Craig from overseas, and we have him as a potential backup. There's truly going to be a competition going into the training camp. I like that. I like that Younghoe is getting some folks to actually push him as they should. But I look at this team's makeup and really how even the NFC is, folks. The NFC is not. It's gonna really be up for grabs. And thinking about the close games last year, thinking about the New Orleans games here, the New Orleans game there, the Tampa Bay game that we had to get the 50-plus yard kick to get to overtime, the LA Charger game where we had the missed field goals in that game, Washington where we had an opportunity, and I don't blame Riley Patterson. He was kind of thrust into a longer kick due to some bad decision making in the moment. But that place kicker position for the Atlanta Falcons is going to be crucial. And we have a lot of other positions that we're going to talk about today. But that's where I start with, man, how important is having a solid place kicker going to be going into 2025? I think it's crucial. Of course, Kaleb McGary, right tackle, left-handed quarterback. We've all talked about it. But how important is that? It's crucial. You've got to get a really good block. You have to have a really good blocking scheme put out there for Michael Penix for him to do his job. I think he's going to do well, quite honestly. I think this offensive line is probably the best unit on the team. I know some will say running back room is really good, and it is. But I think the offensive line room is very good. And as I've talked to you all before, previously, having an opportunity to talk to Chris Lindstrom a couple of weeks ago at one of the practices, and he said, Chris Lindstrom, all-pro guard, Chris Lindstrom said that this is probably the best they've come camp since he's been there. Now, again, we haven't played it down. We haven't played preseason. We haven't done any training camp. I get that. But to hear him say that, it sounds like this squad and this front should be ready for anything this year. I'm going to go along with that. I hope he's right. I know it's easy to say people are going to look at the last couple of years with McGary and he's up and down. He's great in the run. Don't get me wrong. But you are going to need to elevate that position for Michael Penix to be effective in 2025. So again, I want to know who is your the most important player on the 2025 Atlanta Falcons that's not a quarterback. Let's get into the chat, shall we? John Higgins in the house. Hey, Uncle Steve, happy Father's Day to you as well. Thank you, sir. Right back at you. Well, OTA's minicamp has come and gone. Now we sit back and wait on training camp in July. And oh my goodness. If you're a sports fan, I'll take that back. If you're a football fan, this is probably the most miserable time. Shoot, you don't even have UFL anymore. They played their championship last night. So really, from now until the beginning of training camp, and I got secret news for y'all. I'm going to go to a couple of training camps. I'm not even the biggest training camp guy. Of course, I want to see what the guys are doing. Good to see them on the field, all of that, blah, blah, blah. Falcons for life, cool. Yeah, man, I'm not satisfied till I see it kick off for real. Even the preseason games, I know we're going to be hyped before we get to the preseason game, and that first preseason game and that first quarter, we're going to all be like, yeah, go. And then by the time we get to the second game, we're like, oh, all right, please, can we get to September 9th already? Can we get that Tampa Bay thing kicked off? So this is the most miserable time for a football fan. And I'm not talking, listen, I'm a Braves guy. I'm an Atlanta homer. Actually, I was talking to one of my buddies at church. I'm probably more into the Atlanta Dream, who won again today. 8-3, clearly the third best team right now in the WNBA. I like the women's game because they play fundamental. And they do. It's a great way to teach the young kids how to play. And I'm men and women. Some of the coaching they got going on there is awesome. If y'all haven't seen the Atlanta Dream, this might be the year. Front court is nice. Back court with Alicia Gray and Jordan Canada on the team. Brittany Griner holding down the inside with Brianna Jones and Ryan Howard, who might be arguably one of the top 5 to 10 players in the WNBA. Don't sleep on them. The Atlanta Braves are still out. I'm still not giving up on the Atlanta Braves. I know a lot of people are. Got 5 playoff positions now. It's not like it's totally over. I can understand how people are, but got a whole month of June. Well, half a month of June and a whole month of July to go. Hold tight. They'll be all right. I'm not a NASCAR guy, so that's not going to keep me. It's not going to light my fire. And I'm also, basketball is over pretty much by the end of this week. So it's going to be a lonely time right now. That's why, these streams in between, it's going to be kind of one of those fun things to talk about. Like, what are you doing right now that football is over with the OTAs and you got a month and a half to wait? Crazy. John Higgins also says, and sometimes during the season, somebody would need a quarterback and they will come calling the Atlanta Falcons. I'm probably past that now. Right now, I'm kind of like, you know what? It is what it is. Kurt's come out. We could, I know, is Kurt telling the truth? Is Kurt whatever? You know what Kurt is doing? Kurt is collecting his paycheck as the second string quarterback and a very highly compensated quarterback. I do believe one thing he said in his press conference. He wants to win. He hadn't done that as a starting quarterback as far as getting far in the playoffs. So maybe there could be some truth to it. And let's not pretend like quarterbacks don't get hurt. Maybe he could be an asset. I'm not counting my chickens on it. I'm not trying to tell y'all that's what's going to happen, but I don't know. Let's see what happens with that. As y'all coming in, make sure you hit the like button, especially if you're on YouTube. We really appreciate your love there. We want to try to get our best to get to 2,000 if we can by the time the season starts or sometime near the beginning of that. If you don't mind, tell your friends and your family about Uncle Steve's Lounge. We appreciate you. If you're on Facebook, we appreciate you watching. That means you're on my personal page, and I appreciate you coming in. Every now and then we'll do a lot of exclusive YouTube stuff. So if you are on Facebook and aren't subscribed to Uncle Steve's Lounge, please go to that channel. Very soft, very easy. I should say soft. That's the wrong word. Very easy to listen to. God bless a lot of other folks in their content. We try to keep it as clean as possible. So you can hear me still yell about these Falcons, but be okay if your 6-year-old is sitting next to you and say, Daddy, what is that word that starts with? That's not it. D Sloan in the house. What's up, D? Appreciate you. Brother Travis Preston. Day to you and all my fellow Dirty Bird dads. Absolutely. 82 Monte Carlo. Long time. Big John says that whole defensive line, I know it's not one player, but that whole defensive line got to show up this year. A lot of young folks on the defensive line. Dorfus, Ororo. We got to hope that they're there. Onyemata. We jettisoned Grady out of here for $20 million, and we got Onyemata making $16 million. Got to make up our mind on that. I'm really wondering about that. Scott Glover in the house. What's up, Steve, and all the other Falcon fathers here? I do mean that sincerely. Happy Father's Day to you. Barbara Ridley is in the house. How you doing, man? Brother Jonathan Freeman is out. You, sir. Why no NBA game on today? You know, it was kind of interesting to me, Jonathan. My son and I were speaking about that, and I thought, if anything, you would want your marquee game on Sunday night, which is usually the heaviest night of prime time. I just don't get that one. So you're going to wait till Monday? I'm really confused about that one. So I'm right there with you, Jonathan. I don't know what's going on as far as that's concerned. That's just crazy. Big Low Country Sports in the house. Big Low Country Sports on YouTube. Probably the most humorous, dynamic Atlanta Falcons content creator out there. All love to all the content creators. What in the World Bowl. Happy Father's Day, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Jonathan says, I want to keep Cousins. No reason not to. I am so over the discussion about Kirk Cousins staying on the team. Folks, this is one of the best things to happen to us right now. We have a quarterback room where we have an electric young guy at quarterback position that we believe in that can do the job. And guess what? If unfortunately something happens to him, you have, in his own words, a healthier, and I don't know in his own words, it's tricky with him. In his own words, a healthier, more mobile Kirk Cousins. Yeah, I heard the press conference. I thought I was at 8 and I was at 3. And maybe he did. But if somebody paid me $40 million, $100 million in 2 years guaranteed, I think I would be trying to pretend like I was healthy too. I would. I'm okay with Kirk Cousins being the backup. I don't understand why anybody, I mean, at this point, I don't understand why people are kind of tripping on that. I could be wrong. Dexter Owens is here. What's up, Dexter? Public this year, the most important player coach is, I think, is Jeff Ulbrich, getting his young defense to play together. I didn't add coaches in there, but we don't mind the switch. Dexter, you're absolutely right. If Jeff Ulbrich can get this defense to play different, to play faster, I keep hearing it. I keep hearing them talk about it. They said it to us when we went out there to the practices a couple of weeks ago. They said that the defense is fast. The liquor fast. These guys are playing a lot looser. Let's see. I hope that's the case. I hope it is. That's a good one, though. And again, for those of you who don't, the subject is the most important player, non-quarterback, for the 2025 Atlanta Falcons. I see my buddy Greg in here with the super chat, brother. Check out Greg on his Greg Custom Kicks. I haven't gotten with him. I need to get with him pretty soon so I can have my stuff going into 2025. I do feel like I need to get some black shoes. I'm just telling you ahead of time what I need. Greg, I'll get with you offline to take care of that. But I appreciate the super chat, man. I'll give you a little short one right here. Forever my Falcons. Hey, that's my team. You wanna hear news, wanna hear songs, then chill with Uncle Steve. Appreciate that, brother. Forever my Falcons. Hey, that's my brother Greg in the house. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Jack Doe in the house, man. What is Jack Doe is a fan of the Steelers. We gonna send him some flowers and send him some thoughts and prayers, because I don't think that Aaron Rodgers, man, I don't know if I can just get excited about that one or not. I'm not a believer in Aaron Rodgers. I'm just trying to tell y'all. I don't think he's gonna be the guy. But we'll see. We'll see. Their receiving core is lacking too. Y'all come ball our receivers. We'll take TJ Watt. Happy Father's Day to you too, Greg. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. Brother Big Low says, yeah, Curtis here. Let's take advantage of it. You gotta look at this point. We've got to start looking in that direction. You know what, folks? All of the situations have all been taken up. All the quarterback slots are taken. Shoot, Cleveland got 4 quarterbacks up there. So there aren't any other places right now for Kurt to go. With that mindset, I think that's why Kurt showed up for camp. Is Kurt happy? Probably not. But what is he going to do? And if you're the Atlanta Falcons right now, it makes 0 sense to cut Kirk Cousins, because you're going to take a salary cap hit out the yin yang for no reason. So I think let's go ahead and get our heads around it. Whether we're the biggest fan of him or not, he's on the team. And guess what? If everything turns out like it's supposed to be, maybe we don't see him this year. That would be a great thing. But for right now, man, Kurt's here. Might as well get ready for that. David Stark. Third game fathers. That's right. Y'all make sure y'all the Atlanta Falcons, Atlanta Falcon fathers, the fans here in the Atlanta Bird Gang, which we do stream into, still a big part of on Facebook. Tidy is doing his great job as usual, taking care of that business, man. So that is awesome, awesome. Jack Doe says helmet or sky mask, robbery is robbery for Kirk Cousins. I ain't talk about that because Pittsburgh wanted to. They were trying to say Aaron Rodgers was going to do his little disappearing act. So y'all probably would have took. Big Low says the most important non-quarterback is Bijan Robinson. Very good call there. I think Bijan is going to be the key to a lot of things. We got a chance to taste a little bit of him for 2 years. I think he's clearly put himself as one of the top 5 running backs in the league. We've seen what he can do, his versatility. I do believe he can do whatever he wants to right now. He can run it. He can catch it out the backfield. He can block. He's really a talented running back and a very important player in the Atlanta Falcons system. Now, can we win if he's not there? I think we still have the opportunity to win with the other people we have on the team, on the roster, but I do think having him on the team is a much bigger plus than not having him. Jack said, I put Greg's info in chat. Greg, if you're still out there, Greg, make sure you put your info in there. I know he's on Instagram with that same call sign there. Put his at Greg Custom Kicks. I know that's his call moniker on Instagram. But Greg, if you get a chance, man, put your info in the chat so folks can take advantage of those custom made shoes, brother. Definitely put that on. David says the most important, besides the quarterback, is Darnell Mooney. We need quick strike capabilities, and the short and intermediate areas opened up so cornerbacks can't squat on route. So y'all remember that Darnell was hurting a little bit in that second half. I know that probably wasn't, ideal that Kurt wasn't getting the ball out there anyway, but we did notice when Darnell was kind of stretching the field out there, man, it made a difference in those first few games. And even remember how tough that first part of the schedule was? I mean, we went 1-2 out the rip, and then we ran off 5 out of the next 6. So, and look, there's no shame losing to Kansas City and Pittsburgh, at least last year's Pittsburgh. No shame to losing to those guys at the beginning of the year. And Darnell was a huge part of that. So having him healthy and able to do what he needs to do, that's critical to success for the Atlanta Falcons. Again, as y'all coming in, and I appreciate y'all coming in, and please put your questions in the chat. I'll probably open it up a little bit tonight. Put the link in the chat. Let y'all join anybody that wants to wish a happy Father's Day to folks out there. We're going to put you on and see what you got to say, and then you got to give us your most important Atlanta Falcon player that's not a quarterback. I'm going to do that in a couple of minutes after I finish reading. Antoine. Brother, how you doing, man? Hope everything is well. And again, happy Father's Day to everyone. Lisa Shepard is in. Everybody, yes, indeed. Thank you, Lisa. We appreciate that. Amani Newsom, what's up? Okay. Hey, if he's playing chess on the sideline, that's a great thing. That means 1, Michael Penix isn't hurt, and 2, he's probably taking care of business. And Kirk's on the sideline with that Microsoft Surface doing his thing. And I'm down with that. I'm super down with that. Oh, man. And Barbara said, I knew Kirk's coming. There we go. See, I knew Kirk was coming. He ain't missing no money by getting fired. He's too greedy for that. Barbara, Kirk Cousins, y'all remember a few years ago, everybody kept talking about Matt Ryan and how Matt was getting all this money and whether he was worth it. At one point, prior to everybody else getting these big deals, Matt Ryan was the most compensated quarterback in NFL history at one time. Now, 5 years later, he's falling way down that list. But Kirk Cousins, man, I give him credit and his agent credit. He took advantage of a situation where the Atlanta Falcons needed a quarterback last year because it was either him or y'all know good and well what y'all were going to be dealing with. So, I mean, I don't like the money, but I like the move. For your fan base, you needed to show that you were trying to improve. And for 9, if we're honest, we got it. But that's over with now. You're on the bench. He's making that money. Let him do his thing. Barbara says the most important non-quarterback is the O-line to protect Penix and help the run and pass game. Absolutely. Again, I mentioned them a little bit earlier when I was talking about the importance of McGarry this year. And then what I like is another year of all 5 guys being together again. I like the fact that the continuity that these guys are building. If I'm not mistaken, this is year 3 that all 5 guys are going to, well, Newsel and I forgot his name that quit since we jettisoned him out of there. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The center we just got rid of going to Chicago. I don't know why that's losing me on right now. But since he's not on the team, who cares? It's good to have those guys together. So, yeah, this is good. Keely in the house. What's going on, Keely? How you doing? Absolutely. Bigelow says, I changed my answer to agree with Miss Barbara. Yeah, the O-line is important to that. Thank you, Lo. Drew Dahlman. Jesus. I was losing my mind up here. Drew Dahlman. That's who the center that left us and went to Chicago. Again, I hate that everybody's trying to play him like he was the greatest center ever now that he's gone, but I think Newsel will do a good job. I think he did a decent job at first, so we'll see how that ends up working out. But again, as I told y'all before, love to have your comments coming here on Father's Day if y'all just want to wish folks happy Father's Day or want to tell us on air exactly the most important non-quarterback on the Atlanta Falcons. I gave my very first answer. I made it a 2-part answer, Younghoe Koo and Lenny Craig. I look at the games that we had last year, and I look forward to what we're going to do in 2025. I'm trying to tell you guys and gals, if we don't have a solid place kicker on this team, it's going to be a long season. I count 4 games last year that we honestly had a decent chance to win the game if our kicking game was up to par. The battle between Younghoe Koo and Lenny Craig is going to be pivotal. We must have that position taken care of and solidified going into the season. James, what's going on? James, thank you so much, man. Happy Father's Day to you. Y'all, I appreciate y'all chiming in with your picks on that. Not your picks, with your choice on the best non-quarterbacks out there. I do feel like when somebody said the defensive line, that's probably an area I'm a little concerned with because of the youth and because really when you thought, I know we got Morgan Fox and David Onyemata on the team as well, but there's something that it's just making me kind of question what's going on. I know we brought in Mike Ollie to help us out on the D line, so hopefully that will give us a little bit of help. But the D line got me a little worried. Can somebody help me feel better about that? I hope y'all can. Dexter says, I want to see this NASCAR package. Do you think Floyd and AK on one side and Pierce and Walker on the other with Trice at end, Ruka at the end, and Harrison on the other end with Ellis and Diablo at linebacker speed? It's so weird. I was feeling better about the linebacker core prior to even talking to Caden Ellis a couple of weeks ago, but I think I like it. I think Ulbrich is somebody that will probably have those linebackers ready to go, have those guys in and out of there. I don't know why. For some reason, I just vision this San Francisco look on the team. It's something about this defense that has me wanting to say that's 49ers from a couple of years ago. I know. T-shirts and shorts, I get it. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what exactly these guys are going to have ready for us in 2025. But yeah, the NASCAR package is going to be interesting because I don't think we've done that here before. Even when we had the success the other year with what's my brother's name who went down to Jacksonville. See when they leave here, they're of no concern to me. See how much of a Falcon fan I am when they go. Oh man, coming into the stage over here, I see my buddy coming in here. Big Low Country Sports. He's in, as the wrestlers used to say, parts unknown. As he's what's going on, bro?
What's going on? How you doing, man?
Mr. Wrestler from parts unknown. Mr. Wrestling number 2. What's the word, man?
Man, hey, happy Father's Day, man. Happy
Thank
Father's
you, sir.
Day. Hope you had a good one.
I did, man. We the ladies and my son, they celebrated me a little bit today, and I'm very thankful for them. Obviously, being in my life, because hey, I wouldn't be a father if it wasn't for her.
There you go.
You were in the house, and my daughter always makes me feel like a like I'm a good father. So I take that seriously. My son the same way. So I appreciate that. And again, everybody else out there, just happy Father's Day to you. I was thinking about this topic because for some reason, Lo, when I start, I know the obvious things, and you had good points when you were talking about well, when you reneged and went to the other idea with Miss Barber as well. But for some reason, this place kicking is bothering me because I think about the close games we were in and the games that we lost because of the poor place kicking. And where are you on a scale of 1 to 10 with the importance of getting that place kicker thing right? Because I think if this was Younghoe Koo of 2021 or 2, I think we would have lost. I think we would have won maybe 2 to 3 more games.
I agree.
Yeah. So where are you with that as far as the importance of
that is extremely important. Whenever it's a situation where you're leaving points off of the board, I mean that's out of 10, that's an 8.5 to me. I honestly, you don't really hear too much about teams doing a thorough search for place kickers. But I mean, I hope that these guys do their due diligence. I'm obviously, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm really hoping that it's not a situation where we said, "Hey, this guy's from Germany. We have copyrights in Germany. He can kick." I hope it's not one of them situations.
It
But
sure smells like it though, doesn't it?
I hope that's
It's
not the case.
it's it's
I hope this guy don't come out here and miss a 50-yard field goal that can't get to the that can't get to the crossbar. I hope this isn't one of those cases. Yeah, but yeah, man, I really don't know. I hope they're taking it as seriously as it needs to be taken. But yes, it's really high on the Richter scale for me.
I'm looking at this schedule last year, and I'm just trying to go to a couple of these games, and I'm really paying attention more to the L's we took. I had that Pittsburgh game. I mean, their kicker had a phenomenal game. I think he had like what 4 kicks of 50 yards in that opening game loss against us well we played Pittsburgh last year. Kansas City game. I'm not even sure who missed the field goal in that game. He may have, but we lost by 5 in that game. That was
Yeah.
crucial. Seattle, we had that game lost. But I go to the games near the end. Uh, and unfortunately, I know you were witness to a couple of those. That game in New Orleans, clearly,
Ah,
uh,
man.
we needed a place kicker. That game against the Chargers, I think he missed 3 in that particular game. There, the Raiders game was much too close due to some, I think, a couple of missed kicks on there, and then obviously the Washington Commanders, which of course we lost in overtime. But if we had legitimate kicking,
Kicker.
we
Yeah.
would have won that game. And more than likely, folks, I mean, if you really add that up, we would have lost that game and maybe had momentum to go into Carolina. Even if we didn't win, if people don't realize that, even if we didn't win the division, had we won that Commanders game and rolled that momentum into the last game, we would have been the wild card
Yes, sir. That is
that
completely correct.
last year. We would have. Miss Barbara says she thanks you for agreeing with her on, on that.
Well, my,
So,
my apologies that I'm not on camera. I'm actually in my garage. I'm cleaning my golf clubs in my garage. So
I, I I know that's gonna take quite a bit of dealing with your golf.
wow.
That's another thing. I was thinking we were talking about that earlier. This is that dead period I think that we've all talked about now that
Yeah.
OTAs are over with. Lowe was one of the first ones that even though I must admit I think I got the text for those of you who get the text from AtlantaFalcons.com. Soon as I got the text and they were talking about the tickets for training camp and they were free. And anytime you put the word free on something, I'm going
Exactly.
right to the site.
Yes, sir.
So I went immediately and grabbed tickets for every single training camp. Even if I'm not able to go, I just grabbed a couple just in case. Where are you right now with all this dead time and what is going on with Bigelow during this dead period before football?
All right. So the crazy thing is that I'm basically everything that I promised everyone who I care about, I'm doing it right now. Um, so I'm taking my mom and my stepdad on a trip to Arizona.
Awesome.
Um, first week in
Sedona?
July. So we're actually going to be across the whole state. So
Okay.
we're going to Tucson, because they have like one of those Wild West shows out there. You know, they watch Gunsmoke all day.
Nah. Oh yeah.
Then
Oh yeah.
they have a train that actually takes you directly to the Grand Canyon, and we got like the little window, the little dome in our cart where we could like sit on top and like look at the scenery um all the way around us. So we're gonna go to the Grand Canyon, then we're gonna go to Tombstone in Arizona, um and you know we got a little bit of family out there in Arizona, so we're I mean yeah we're gonna stay out there for about 8 days and just have a good time. Then I got to take my nieces to the beach. One of my nieces has never been to the beach before, so we want to you know let her experience that, and we're gonna take her to Florida. I gotta go see my cousin who plays at Florida. And, I'm doing a whole bunch of chores around the house that I normally wouldn't be able to do. So, I mean, yeah, basically everything that I promised everybody that I love right now, I'm making sure that I do it.
So in other words, so all those people out there listening that want to be adopted by Big Low, please put a 2 in the chat. He said he'll pick you up and let y'all ride shotgun with.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. Now, look, I'll adopt all of y'all. I don't know about if I can do anything for you, but I'll adopt you.
I gotta. The one thing I haven't even talked to Kira about it yet, but definitely need to get out of Georgia. Unfortunately, we don't. They don't do a lot. Well, legal. Don't do a lot of legal sports gambling in here. I need to run to Vegas and take advantage of some of these odds prior to the season opening. I think last year, I did it last year, and I ended up. I think out of the maybe 10 major things I bet on, I think I hit about 3
Oh, okay.
out of the 10. But I did hit the 3. I think Bijan going over 1,000. Really, his number was like 950, which was ridiculous.
Wow.
He was 950. What was the other thing? It was something earlier in the year. I can't remember what it was, but I hit a couple of those, and this year I hope to do a lot better. I think I saw, if I'm not mistaken, and I wish I could have jumped on it earlier. I know I saw one book had Atlanta about a month ago, and that was before the draft. Had them at 7.5.
Yes, sir. Before that, it was 6.5.
Right. And I'm like,
So
goodness
it's
gracious.
creeping up, you know.
Lisa said, do you have Caesar Sportsbook? I actually do, Lisa. It is kind of weird because Caesar's is kind of tricky because I know there are states that I know North Carolina, I think, is
Yes, sir.
has finally opened up.
Yes,
And
sir.
so it would just be a matter of crossing over and be able to do that. So maybe that's
Dang,
something.
Mississippi.
Yeah, Mississippi and
I don't
of
know if
course
Tennessee
Louisiana.
does or not.
I'm not sure Tennessee is or not. I know North Carolina. I'm pretty sure Mississippi. I'm
Florida.
not sure if Florida. Okay, so Florida
Yeah,
is
I mean, because ain't that how Calvin got jammed up?
No, yeah, you know what? That's
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Mr. FanDuel himself. Yeah, that is. I forgot about that. So yeah, I actually have them and I have MGM. Now I know Caesars is kind of tricky. If you're not in that location, now I don't know. Now maybe they've changed. Now if you're not in their location, matter of fact, this up real quick. See, this is how you do stuff on air. Because MGM would let you pull up their stuff on now. See, now this is what comes up with Caesars. They make you choose a state and you have to be in that state. And guess what? Georgia isn't on that list. So you can't even look at your stuff on Caesars. But MGM, if you make bets on MGM, you can actually do that. Go to the state, make your bet, and then you can monitor what's going on the whole time.
Do
on
you
him.
have to be in the state? You have to be
No,
in the
no,
state,
no.
though, right?
To see it. No. Caesars, unless you're in the location, they
Uh-huh.
won't even let you look at your bets.
Wow, really?
Yeah. That again, that's what happened to me. So I saying if anybody else does it different, they say we are unable to verify that you are in a legal state. I don't know if y'all can see that or not. And then they have the states on there. If you're not in those states with your and you got to have your location on. If you're not in those states, you can't look at it. MGM, on the other hand, if you go to them, you can go to their site, and I'm just showing what I got here. MGM, you can actually still see the stuff from last year. So I
Oh,
just
that's cool.
I'm putting in my verification right now. There's no bets on here, so y'all ain't getting nothing that I wouldn't get. Nobody's getting any inside information. But so if y'all look at now, BetMGM will let me see the bets I have, go to the betting cards I've made in the past, and I can actually look on that. So I do like the agent. I do like that one a little bit
Oh,
better.
okay.
Kelvin is in the house. Kelvin said, if he goes over 1,000 or close to 1,100, will he want a pay increase? Lots of people, including Drake, are going to have their hands out. I'm not sure if Mooney is probably going to be in that category. I think right now their focus is probably getting Drake re-signed, and not to say that Mooney isn't an important part of what we got going on. He absolutely is, but and I'm pulling up his stuff. What do you think about that thought of Mooney being one of the most important folks? Low.
Oh, I mean, I definitely agree. I mean, if you look at, you know, you, if you look at the best games that we had last year offensively, I mean, Mooney was a key part of it, right? I know all off season, everybody's been saying, "Hey, we need somebody who can stretch the field." And I'm like, well, daggone y'all, like Darnell Mooney runs a 4.3. How much faster? How much faster do you walk?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm putting his stuff up here right now just so we can look, courtesy of Spot Track. And if we look at his numbers, and I'll make that larger for us who are vision impaired a little bit. So Darnell, he makes $9 million this year, along with his $5 million signing bonus. So $14 million this year. He'll be here this year, so no worries about that. But we do have the potential out for Darnell after this season. If we get out of the contract, we'll only take a $5 million dead cap hit, and those other 2 years will be gone. If we keep him next year, his cap will be $16 million. Now, with that, and looking at our brother Nash, and hopefully the maturity of Casey Washington, and maybe some other young receivers, you're hoping that they get good enough to where we don't need that $16 million hit. But as you say, Lo, you can't replace 4.4 speed on the team. So I think I don't think. I think they'll try to find a way, especially if they're successful. I think they'll try to find a way to maybe do one of those extensions that'll be fiscally good. But Drake is the priority this year as far as pay is concerned. I don't think Mooney is that guy, even if he wanted a pay increase. But what do you think?
I will tell you one thing. Like, based off of what the Falcons have done since Terry Fontenot has been here, I could see us taking a wide receiver in the first round next year.
Oh, you know what? Well, it won't be the first round.
Oh, well, this is true. In the second round next year.
It'll be a second round of this year.
No, but you know how Terry is. Terry, he'll trade up.
I'm
Terry,
about to
he'll be
say,
like, I don't care.
hey, as we saw this year, Terry ain't afraid to go up and get what he wants to get, man. So, and I have no problem with that. Atlanta Falcons pandemic. Make sure y'all check out the pandemic. He does his thing on YouTube as well. Y'all make sure y'all give him a like and subscribe to the channel, so he can get his stuff out there. Are you you were talking about golf? Are you keeping your eye on this U.S. Open? Look like they all
Man, boy, yeah, I was watching it.
they
I
were all
was,
within a shot of each other. I think Spawn, his JJ Spawn, kind of jumped back out in the lead for the moment, but hey, we'll see. I think they on the last couple of holes right now. So
that course is crazy. I don't know if you've been watching it, but
I've been watching. I saw a 611 yard hole.
Yes. Yeah.
I was like, what in the world is going on? But I don't know the way these guys are hitting the ball these days, Lo. I guess you got to make it a little hard.
You do. Yeah. Did you see the rough?
Yeah.
Somebody dropped the ball, it just disappears. Like you can't even see it.
I don't know who it was, and I'm trying to think whether that was Victor Hovland. He hit the ball out of the rough. The ball landed, and I want to say that was yesterday or was that Friday? He hit the ball out of the rough. Everybody was like, yeah, it hit the green. Man, that ball was moving so fast on the green. It kept going. And then next thing you know, almost like I forgot what the movie is. Like soon as the movie hit the tree line, which is the rough, that ball disappeared.
Man, yeah, bro. Yeah, it ain't no joke. It ain't no joke.
That rough is crazy. So
yes, it is.
That Atlanta Falcons pandemic says most important player, offensive line. If the offensive line does their job, Penix stays upright and throws for 3,500 yards. Bijan rushed for almost 2,000 in Barry Sanders style. Offense will be electric. Just my dream, and it's a great dream. I do believe. I understand the concern for the offensive line, and again, especially more keen on that pass protection on Penix's blind side. But I gotta say, of all the position groups on the squad, I must admit, I think the offensive line is one of the ones I'm probably, if it sounds like, least concerned with, because I really feel like that camaraderie. And Bergeron, make me right, is Bergeron second or third year?
Third year. I don't know if you remember, we were doing the show whenever we drafted him. We were like, who is this guy?
That's right. You know what? I remember that. That's right. You and I were doing the show that second.
We were like, what kind of syrup sipping, pancake flapping joker we got here?
Yeah, that was the show that you were trying to tell everybody that Richie Grant was. I'm sorry. No, but
man, come on.
That was
come on, man. Come on, man.
But aside of the center position, you got a pretty solid and pretty a lot of continuity with those guys. How do you feel about this offensive line going into the year, as far as these guys are concerned?
I ain't gonna lie to you, for the first time in years, I'm actually saying this about a coach for the Atlanta Falcons. As long as we got Coach Leffler, I'm feeling confident. And that's the first time I've been able to say that in years.
Bruh. I see him over there on the sideline sometimes talking to them guys. He's so comfortable.
Man,
looks like telling them what's going on, and just listen to the way they communicate. You know, they got their special bench on the side where all five, they literally sit like they're lined up.
Yeah. Yeah,
They sit like they're lined up, which is weird to
I
me.
love it.
That you would do that. But but to your point, you gotta love it. Whatever is happening, it's working. And I have more confidence in this line than I have I mean, I'm trying to think what other position group I probably have more confidence in than the offensive line.
I
Pandemic
can't
brings
think of
up if the
one.
chemistry is like 2016, I'm not worried. And remember, you say that 2016. If y'all remember, Western Chester all year long in 15, we questioned what was the Levitre? We got him in a trade.
Beasley.
And
Yes, sir.
remember him? And
I remember.
so and we got those guys in 15. And the only position that changed in 16 was the center. We brought in out a huge difference. So I'm not to disagree with your sentiment when you say the chemistry like there was in 16. There was chemistry in 16. But remember how that I mean, coming into 16, the offensive line was a huge question mark.
It was.
We were dogging Chester. We were ready to kick Chester off the team. So
he was the constant. He was the constant through that run though.
Oh yeah.
Him and Alex
yeah.
Mack. Like
They got it together, brother. That next
yeah.
year, like I said, 16. We had the best line, offensive line group. And you think about it, man. Matt did.
Hello.
So that's hey, I like it. I like
There
it.
you
I
go.
like the comparison, but you're absolutely right. T. Terry in the house. Happy Father's Day. Pandemic said that offensive line was small, but they played big and smart, which they did. They did play big and smart on that team. I do. I remember specific man Levitre, bro. They wanted to kick Levitre off the team
Oh man, I remember
right after
that.
the
Boy.
trade.
That was yes, sir.
They
Yes,
were
sir.
ready to get Levitre off that team. So
We got from Washington, right?
from Washington, yes sir,
Yep.
yes sir.
Yep.
So
I remember that, boy.
yeah, man, and we were, and that was the the folks were up in arms about it, but thank goodness to the great Kyle Shanahan, we were able to.
The great Kyle Shanahan. That's right. Get it right, up. The great Kyle Shanahan.
It's so funny. I know a lot of people, especially after the. Have you had a chance to hone in on the Legacy Locker Room podcast?
Still have. Still have. Have you?
I finally, for some reason, and I think they did it internally. All of a sudden, I woke up one day, got in there, and all of a sudden now it's playing like, oh, what? Nothing wrong, nothing to see here, but it is working now.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll try it now.
Yeah,
it's like I've gotten like to that age where it's like, look, if it's not working the first couple of times, I'm just done with it.
Same here.
Yeah.
I think it was something with the iPhone. Try it again.
Okay. Okay.
The first 2 episodes were great because, of course, it was a little controversial because they were, you'd seen the clips, obviously, where they were kind of crapping on Callahan and I'm sorry, Kyle Shanahan. The only thing that this still again bothers me about that whole thing was, and for Falcon fans, I love Roddy, but at the same time, we balled without him.
We did.
And I'm not
Hey,
trying
like,
to
hey,
hey man.
hey,
Hey,
hey, like, you took the
hey,
words out of my mouth. You
no
took the
man.
words out of my mouth.
Hey man. We and I say it again. I love being Roddy White. Was ticked off in 15. I was like, dang, what y'all doing to Roddy? What's going on? And 16 came, and I'm trying to tell y'all by week 12,
Right,
he was like,
Roddy,
Roddy who?
yes,
Roddy who?
yes,
I mean,
yeah.
I so yes, Kyle Shanahan is gonna never have a free steak dinner when he comes back to Atlanta, I'm sure. But let's also remember Kyle Shanahan took us on the ride of our life.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I got a question for you, and I got a question for everybody in the
Okay.
chat. All right, so if, and I know that if or a fifth, we'd all be drunk, but if, let's say it doesn't work out with Raheem Morris,
Okay.
right? And it didn't work out for Kyle Shanahan, and because this is his last chance right here. Are you opposed to the Falcons getting Kyle Shanahan as their head coach?
Not at all.
Okay, okay. I just want to know what you thought.
Not
Okay, gotcha.
and here's where we want to make a villain. Am I mad that the play calling in that last? Am I mad that the play calling didn't work out in the Super Bowl? Yes. Am I mad that he kind of treated Roddy like he did in 15? Yes. But the one thing you can't argue with is he get him on the doorstep.
Exactly.
He get him on the doorstep. Something we ain't got in the last 7 years. Something that I would love to have. 3 NFC championship games, 2 Super Bowls. Yes, he's not closing the deal, but God dog it, I'd rather be on that side.
He gonna close it after a while.
And listen, all it takes is one. Ask Andy Reid.
Is that hello?
All it takes
Hello.
is one. And
Andy Reid was Kyle Shanahan.
This is not a PSA for Kyle Shanahan for folks thinking that all of a sudden I've forgotten and all of a sudden I'm running. No, I'm not saying that. But I am saying let's not act like the brother can't coach.
Hello.
Let's not pretend like and from my personal feeling, look, I know a lot of people in this fan base that were ready to bring Bill Belichick here. And who you think caused more drama for Atlanta, Bill Belichick or Kyle Shanahan? And if y'all say Kyle Shanahan, y'all ought to be shot. Bill Belichick beat us.
Look what's going on with Bill Belichick now. Do you think that would have been a good move to bring that here?
Absolutely not. So I mean, I'll take Shanahan all day, every day if the scenario came up. Said.
Lisa said no. And look, Lisa, I completely understand where you're coming from, sister. I completely do.
And listen, that's fine because I know a lot of people kind of, take that. I'm trying to get what Lisa's saying on here. Why Shanahan called plays for Roddy in practice but subbed him out during the games? That made no sense. Shanahan should have told Roddy from the beginning what it was. He didn't do that. Hashtag shady. And guess what? You're probably right. I'm not even disagreeing with that. You're probably right. But in the end of the day, who ended up kind of proving their point?
Who was right?
I mean, I heard the comment. Roddy was like the 4th or 5th option. What did he say? Jones, Hankerson. No, he said Jones, Jacob Tammy, Hankerson, and then throw the ball to Free. Listen, when he said that, I laughed. Even Julio said, he told you that? And Roddy said, yeah, that's what he told me. Listen, in a season where we started 5-0, And for whatever reason, things deteriorated. I got a feeling the chemistry stuff had something to do with it. I think Roddy wasn't right. When Roddy said he pressed that man, he basically told people, I don't know if you saw that part in the podcast. He basically said he kind of got in the office one-on-one with the man.
Yeah, I saw that.
And what he probably ain't say was he probably did press up on him. I'm not suggesting physicality, but he probably did press up on him. And after that, you got a mad veteran in the room. So going into 2016, you got to make a change. And if we had made a change low and we ended up either getting worse or the same, that's one thing. We made the most, with all due respect to 1998, we made the most magical run to the Super Bowl that we did.
Yes. I completely agree.
Barbara said, I would love to have Kyle Shanahan as our coach. I said what I said. Barbara, ain't no need to hide. For what? Are we looking at what Kyle Shanahan has done?
That's what I'm saying, man.
And still accepting that he failed us in the fourth quarter of the Super Bowl. Nobody's denying that. I'm just saying,
this is your chance to make it right.
Absolutely. Lola, I'm gonna run a couple of coaches by you right now.
Okay.
Considering what the Falcons have done over the last few years, I'm gonna run a couple of coaches by you. You tell me what you rather have them right now.
Oh, instead of Raheem?
Instead of Raheem.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Oh no, that might not be fair. That might not be fair. Never mind. Hold on, let me ask.
Okay, okay. How about if something happens and Raheem's not here anymore?
If something happens to Raheem, let me answer Lisa right quick. Lisa says, "Well, yeah, Roddy knew he was done in 15. He knew he and Shanahan weren't going to work. Yeah, and again, I respect the fact that Roddy realized that. And look, remember, it's not like Roddy went on to greener pastures for another team. Roddy didn't play another down in the NFL. I heard the story about Terry Robisky being in Houston, and he had a chance to play with the Texans, but he turned it down and ended up. And I'm like, yeah, I hear you. That's lip service, and I feel you. But Roddy didn't hook up for another catch in the NFL.
Exactly.
You're not gonna tell me he wasn't competitive, low, and wanted to play.
Exactly. Because he's Roddy White. Right? We watched Roddy White for the last 10 years.
Come on, man. Come on. I'm not saying there are untruths in what Roddy said. Roddy's story is Roddy's story. I'm not. I don't want anybody to get that twisted. I guess my point is, if Roddy was the guy that he was, Roddy would have been playing for somebody in 16.
Hello.
I don't know.
Hello.
That's not. I don't know whether
we're on the same page. Like it speaks for itself, right? Like it's just like you said. Roddy's story is Roddy's story. I mean, Roddy's the same way Julio sit over here and told us anything. Like Roddy's story is Roddy's story. Like I mean, how many people we just seen at the barbershop? Like I could have played in the league. You know what I'm saying? Right.
Let's move that segue to Julio while we at Atlanta GA faithful in the house. We appreciate you, man. Pandemic said instead of Raheem, that pitch in Lowe's voice. He's talking about See, they all know. They see through you. They see through you. Doing stuff with CJ is in the house. What's going on? Man, thank you. Coming in. So let's segue to Julio real quick. On Julio. I do believe I there is a little bit where I'm gonna give a little love, a little, to the Julio situation.
Oh, okay.
Because the only thing that's just unexplained, and I think he would deserve it, is if there is truth to the matter that they didn't want to speak to him at all, meaning Arthur Blank. If you all looked at the podcast, Julio's side says he heard the whispers about not wanting to be there. They were going to reassess him, and well, that wasn't even her rumors. They said that in the press conference on Zoom. I remember that they were going to reassess Julio. They're going to reassess Matt, and Julio was like, "Oh, reassess me? Hold on a second. Let me talk to Arthur." And Arthur wouldn't take his call. I think this is what happened. Let me play back what I think happened. If we remember in 2019, I'm sorry, 2018. No. 2019. 2019 was the year that Julio said, "I'm coming up a little short. I need y'all to scrounge around, hook me up with about $2 million, $3 million while y'all figuring out what y'all gonna do on this next contract." Do you remember that?
Yes, Mike Thomas got his $20 million a year, and Julio. Yes, I remember it.
He wanted his love. He wanted his respect. I kind of get it, but it also threw a little drama in the situation. Falcons cave, gave him what he gave. Then the very next year, Julio wanted his deal to show that he was the best wide receiver. There's no argument that he was the best wide receiver the next year, going into 2020. Julio never held out. I think he didn't show up to the first day of training camp?
Yes.
And then they ended up working it out, and I think he was on the field either the next day or something.
Nah, it was a few days, because if I'm not mistaken,
I apologize.
Yeah, because I remember whenever they had the practice at the Benz, like that's whenever he showed up. I don't know if you remember that. Everybody was like, "Yeah, Julio's here." I don't know.
You know what? My apologies. So it was a couple of days. So, and they gave him a 3-year, $66 million contract, which at that time per season was the highest per season rate of a wide receiver in the history of the NFL. So 5 games into that season where they expended all that energy into Julio, they fired Dan Quinn. Now, I don't know if you saw this part of the podcast. There was an obvious affection for Dan Quinn. He spoke very high of him. Dan Quinn was the best coach I ever had. Dan Quinn didn't deserve that. I told the players we should have played harder for Dan. Dan Quinn did this. You know why he loved Dan Quinn? Dan Quinn let that dude miss practice more than any other player.
I would love him too. I would love him too.
That was the part to me that I say from Julio's standpoint is to say, okay, bro. And I'm not saying he wasn't hurt. This is not what I'm saying. I'm not saying he didn't have some bumps and bruises. I'm pretty sure some offensive linemen out there. I'm pretty sure it was some running backs out there. I'm pretty sure some other banged up guys out there that didn't get that love that Julio got from Dan Quinn.
Exactly. They were still practicing, though.
They were still practicing. So, again, Dan Quinn's fired 5 games in. So that season goes to the end. Enter the hiring of Terry and Arthur. And I remember the video. I remember Arthur and Rich McKay And they said they're gonna let. The question came out during the video comm. If y'all remember, that was dead in the middle of the first turn year of COVID. And they asked Arthur, would they look at moving Julio and moving Matt Ryan? They asked about both of them. And the words they said was, we're going to let the new GM and the new coach make those calls. And I think what Julio heard was, the gravy train is over. I got to go to practice now. I got to earn this $22 million paycheck. And
hey, AJ, y'all practice every day over there?
Man, 5 days? 5 days? I gotta go out there every day. So Julio said, well, hold on. Arthur, can I at least get a word with you? And Arthur was probably like, you know what, y'all? What messed me up in the past is that I foolishly was throwing out this Falcon for life. We gonna take care of you. Don't worry, you'll be here. And I think Arthur realized after that third straight losing season, he can't make guarantees like that.
Yep.
And he got to let Terry and Arthur not only reevaluate the team talent-wise, but reevaluate the team monetarily-wise. Those two guys right there at that time, this wasn't even now. Now, the way these salaries now is crazy. But at that time, Julio and Matt were taking up about 40% of the cap. Might have been.
I remember every time Matt Ryan would complete a pass to Julio Jones, the lights would flicker in the stadium. Because I remember thinking every time, I'm like, man, that's a very expensive reception. We can barely pay the light bill.
That per catch money was
boy.
Look, I'm trying to tell you. So finishing up, Julio didn't get the call back from Arthur Blank. He wouldn't take the call from Arthur Smith. He didn't want to talk to him. He said that on the podcast. He didn't want to talk. So he was already probably a foot out the door anyway. So
yeah.
So for me, Lo, as a Falcon fan, I didn't like all that. I didn't care how great Julio was at the time.
Exactly.
And from a fan standpoint, unless, and you got player fans, so I don't want to disrespect them. So you can have all the love you want for Julio, just like people had what they had for Matt. But if you're at a point where you causing a distraction for my team to carry on like you got to do, I mean, you got to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Julio eventually left. So I don't have as much disdain for Arthur Blank as some people. Julio told his side, and now everybody like, Arthur Blank, I told y'all he did wrong. I told you Arthur Blank shouldn't have done that. I told you Arthur Blank shouldn't have tore up that church. I told you Arthur Blank shouldn't have wheelchair Michael Vick out there. I told you so. You start bringing up all this stuff from years.
So you should have gave y'all no free hot dog. Told y'all you shouldn't have no $5 chicken tenders. I told y'all. Okay, all right, chill out now.
So you're exactly feeding into what I'm kind of saying. That's where I'm going with.
Well,
I'm gonna let you rebut on this. I'm gonna let you rebut on this. Let me put these folks up here. Mike, Island Mike. Chiming in here, my friend. Lisa says, I don't remember a single other player bump for Dan Quinn the way Julio did. So that is curious to me. If he was so great, why weren't the other players making public declarations like that? You know why they weren't, Lisa? Because Julio Jones was in Tuscaloosa on Wednesdays, while the other team was going through.
He was managing his Kia dealerships.
Who he was what they say now. So I'm just trying to tell you, Julio had but you're absolutely right, Lisa. I'm agreeing with you. So I'm making fun of it, but I absolutely agree with you. You didn't hear a lot of other people because let's put that in perspective. As a coach, if you treat the star running back and I'm not saying stars don't get some perks. You should. If you're an all-star quarterback, all-star wide receiver, you're gonna get perks. But practice is real, man. You got to be out there with your team.
Exactly. Practice is real. You know, I completely agree with that. If it's a situation where, you know, let's say, you know, that star running back or that star quarterback or whatever has the, you know, he has some injuries or he's kind of banged up, you know, you might try to protect him, make sure he doesn't get any more hurt up. Quarterback, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you're a star quarterback, that kind of goes with being the quarterback. You know, I think Tom Brady kind of, you know, set that tone. It's like, okay, you start quarterback, you want every rep. Like, you know, that's what you hear the great ones say. Like, hey, I want every rep. I ain't trying to take no plays off. I'm trying to go out here and kill it so I can set the tone for everybody else. But I mean, if anybody, and I'm not saying this, yeah, I am saying this in a judgy way. If anybody would want to take, you know, time off of practice, it's gonna be that wide receiver. You know, it's gonna be that wide receiver.
There's a part in the podcast where they actually were making jokes about it. I mean, they were laughing about one time when Julio took the practice off. So Roddy went in there. Well, wait a minute. Or was it vice versa? Where Roddy had the practice off, and then Julio went back in and say, well, hold on. He ain't practicing. I ain't going to practice. Then Harry Douglas was the only one practicing. And they were all talking about how they kind of got those, you know, veteran days or whatever it was. And so they made fun of it. So that was a real thing. That was a real thing they were doing. So on the outside looking in, it does look like there could have been some, you know, kind of like shenanigans going on. Jamal says, if DQ was so great, what happened in 2019 and 20? Julio just loved missing practice and partying with the Migos. You know what? Rumor had it that that was Julio on the chat talking about trying to tell y'all, man, Bougie was one of the greatest rap songs of all time. That definitely the most trappiest of trap songs.
The trappiest
ever go hear. And I dare anybody to bring it.
They was on top of the world. Like you got to give it to them. They was on top of the world now.
I mean, dude, that was better than Dougie Fresh beatboxing.
Hey, come on, come on, come on, man. You. Come on, man. I can't ride with you on that one. I can't ride with you on that one. Though.
Very much have my tongue firmly in cheek when I say that, but there was every time I heard Bad and Bougie, I just had to go back and that was the funniest song of all time.
I never liked it. I could never get into it. I never been a Migos guy. I just could never.
I couldn't tell you what the Migos made in it after that. I just know Bad Bougie was.
that was the jail.
That was it. I don't know at all. I couldn't tell you well, maybe it was the Walking song, Walking Top. Other than that, I couldn't tell you one Migos song, but I can tell you Bad and Bougie. Cooking up dope. And I'm bad.
That was Julio back there.
That was Julio. That's why Julio pissed off.
Like, hey Julio, you got practice today? Cause we need some herbs. Like we need them.
Oh man, doing stuff when CJ says I was done with Julio by the way he left. Then he went to Tampa and was done. Yeah, and it goes back. It's the Falcon curse because there's very few Falcons that leave here and do things better. So yeah, Julio was never the same. I hope he makes up with the Falcons, but at the same time, it is what it is. Atlanta Bird Gang in the house, our brother. Atlanta Bird Gang. Y'all make sure y'all like and subscribe over there to Tidy. Tidy said, "What's up, gents?" He said, "Julio never missed time at training camp. He hasn't going to the voluntary stuff, but he came to camp on time." So I guess he's saying
Okay.
that it might have been voluntary camp. And I will be honest, not trying to co-sign completely with him. I kind of thought I remember him missing one day. And then he was in it. When I say missed the one day, maybe missed the walkthrough. But if you're saying that, and usually, because I think that was Tidy probably driving Julio to the Migos studio, and that's a long drive going up there. He was probably picking up Julio and the rest of them to go there. That's what he was driving. He picked up Julio, and they were going up the street, and the dog crossed the street, and Warner Robbins says, "Skirt," and that's what happened. He said, "Man, y'all ought to put that in the song." Skirt. So that's probably what happened.
Shout out to Tidy, man.
Shout out to Tidy, man. We got another brother in the house, man. Atlanta Pandemic in the house. What is
What's going on? What's going on, y'all?
What's going on, fam? Happy Father's Day, brother.
Happy Father's Day, man.
Same to you. Appreciate it.
Oh,
hey, but look, I'm gonna comment on one thing before y'all get deeper into it. I watched that podcast with Julio and Roddy, right? And it's one thing I took from that, and both of these are phenomenal players. I mean, what they did for the Falcons in the past, what they could have done if they had stayed here. But when you work for a guy like Arthur Blank, and if you got an issue, and I have worked for guys like Arthur Blank, and a subsidiary of his working for him. But when you go at a guy like Arthur Blank, you have to do it with the utmost respect. And I mean,
That's
you
right.
can't just, I don't care what you did for him, how much money he owes you, what you on the line for. You have to do it in a way where it is business, right?
That's right.
No matter
These are
what,
the
no
mob.
matter how you feel about it, And I can see, and I'm not saying that he did this, but I can see Julio and Roddy both addressing their situation in a way where they're not accustomed to going in there handling it like business. You know what I mean? They go in there making demands about what they think they should have earned and how they should be treated. And I'm not saying that, that's how it went down, but that's just my perception of it. But like I said before, when you go approach a man like Arthur Blank, and he's big on morale, and that's why him and Michael Vick fell out. You can't make a lie like that. I mean, tell a lie like that and then expect for no repercussion to come along. Because truth be told, Mike should have still been here. But the fact that he lied to him, that was the breaking point. And with Julio and Roddy, I can see a breaking point getting to that, and it wasn't, I don't think it had anything to do about money. I think it had something to do about the future and what they think they deserve. And they just didn't, Arthur probably wasn't going along with that.
I absolutely go ahead, Lo. I apologize.
Oh no, I was just gonna make a joke. I said, yeah, because Arthur Blank got no mob ties. It's all about respect. You can't,
I wouldn't doubt it.
You can't, don't be coming in here acting crazy now. You're gonna be having some cement shoes. Keep on.
Thoughts and comments on this podcast. Attribute that to Big Low Country. Does not make that distinction. I love it. But so listen, I want to piggyback on what you're saying. You're absolutely right. I do feel like, and this is not telling you to kiss up. I'm not, this is not about kissing up.
Right.
It is about respect.
Mhm.
Which you got to remember from a fan standpoint, unless you're just so blindly a Julio fan that you don't care. Julio Jones, just less than a year before he said, I'm out, had just signed the richest per year contract for a wide receiver.
Right.
I'm sorry. As a fan, I'm not jumping in your corner because I'm saying we got unfinished business, brother. We got unfinished business. And so what? Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith are saying they got to reevaluate. Is,
Mhm.
is your ego that fragile?
Yes, it was.
I mean,
Yes, it was.
listen, we've all been dogging out. If we're fair, we've all been dogging out our second string quarterback right now. But guess what? When it was time for mandatory stuff, he showed up.
Yep.
He spoke, and he hasn't spoke negatively. And it sounds like, barring something catastrophic happen to another team's quarterback situation, he sounds like he's entrenched and he's ready to go.
Mhm.
Oh man, the poor guy. I mean, I just don't see how he's gonna do it. He's gonna make $50 million and sit on the bench to watch. He's gonna get paid to watch. Man, that's a great guy. That's a great guy. To be able to do that, man, kudos to him, right?
You know what?
Right.
You know what?
Hurt
Uh,
could be he could be being truthful with himself too, and realizing that he is not 100%. He is older, so he could be like, hey, facing this thing head up, like, okay, I'm not the same guy I used to be, and he probably came into a realization of that last season, you know. So, for him to sit back and make that 50 million, and he do realize he got a job to complete. He still got to mentor Michael Penix, so he signed on for it. Whether he wants to go play with another team or not, whether he sits behind the bench or come in and get a chance to play, he's still auditioning. So if he have plans to go on and play for somebody else, he can't just sit back and be a nuisance or a letdown and just say, "Oh, the hell with it," and say, oh, "I'm not going to do my job." He still got to show teams, "Hey, I can still do this at a veteran quarterback, as a starter. I can still handle this."
and remember, looking at Kurt's stuff on the screen, remember, y'all, they can get rid of him and take that $45 million dead cap. Now that, because there's an out there, they would be able to spread that out on after this year. So from the Falcons standpoint and from Kirk Cousins standpoint, that's probably a good situation for both, because they probably knew they weren't going to be able to get out of that this year. I think if they would have cut Kirk this year, it would have been, I think they say $65 million salary cap hit, and nobody's going to do that.
It will be smart for us to keep him anyway. I mean, it's not. Let's just say Penix gets to a point where, barring something happen, I'm not gonna say what will happen, but barring something happen, we need somebody solid, to come in and finish the job. We get to the point where 10-2 on the season, or to the point where we got a chance to make the playoffs. We don't want to squander it and say, okay, we're gonna just throw our hands in, give up. You want to still have somebody quality that can come in and take over the job and finish it. Yeah.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. That does.
Yeah, he's the stick.
You said hello? What'd you say?
Yeah, he's the stick out there, man. What you talking about?
If you don't stop, he used to go be the emergency quarterback all year. Lisa came in and she was saying Harry Douglas was mad. He was the only one practicing that day. She was talking about the story that they were talking about on the podcast. And she also says, is this the first time in your recollection that a no trade clause came back to bite a player in the butt? I guess. I mean, hey, he can't. It's not a lot. It's not a lot he can do. You got to sit down and take that.
Yeah.
You got to take it. If we're being honest. Lo, I didn't hear your response about Julio uh, that last
Oh,
I never got that response.
well, basically, what I was sitting there thinking is that I'm a big guy on energy, like the energy that you bring to situations and the energy that you speak with. Um, and I just remember hearing that clip, and first of all, Julio he sounded like a victim
Yeah.
to a certain extent. But the thing is that like in Falcons Pandemic, he mentioned it as well, you know, and you mentioned it as far as like his ego, because he said some things that like and obviously like we've had this conversation, like people say something and it's like, oh, okay, you feeling yourself there. Like, so it's a situation where he said like he was like, yeah, I mean, all the stuff that I've done for this organization, and they not even gonna call me. Like, they know that I've done this and this and this and that. But meanwhile, it's like it's a known fact that Julio Jones didn't practice.
Yeah.
But you know, the whole time he's like, all the stuff I've done for this organization. And then I don't know about y'all. Y'all let me know if y'all had this feeling. Like the last 3 or 4 years, whenever Julio Jones would make catches, like he would make plays, you'd be like, dang, that was a great play. Did y'all notice that Julio Jones would get up and act like we owed him? Did y'all?
I know,
What'd you
I,
say?
I know there were a lot of times you would make a play and you wouldn't see Julio for the next 5 plays.
You would
And
see it for the next 5 plays.
you wouldn't
Exactly.
see it for the next 5 plays. And what I want to make sure that folks are listening to me. I'm not questioning whether he was injured. I'm not questioning about his toughness and his heart. That's not where I'm going. I guess I'm weighing the fact that Julio is acting like I didn't do nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
Arthur Blake saying probably, well, hold on, bro. We just paid you. We just signed you to the most expensive extension of all time for a wide receiver.
Mhm.
And all I'm asking for you to do is work with the new people that come in here. And and this is Julio's words. Julio said he didn't want to talk to Arthur Smith. Isn't that what he said
Well,
on the podcast?
I mean that's what he said. But now, mind you, what type of introduction did Arthur Smith give himself whenever he came to the organization? I mean like let's be honest. Like it was. Do you think Arthur Smith was like the most approachable leader? Look at all of the severed relationships that the Falcons had while Arthur Smith was there.
Mm. I didn't like Arthur Smith as a coach, so I'm not even going to comment on that one. So, but I will tell you one thing though. It's one thing that we are overlooking. Y'all can remember now. A lot of those times, Julio will come in and he'll make a great play, and he would take himself out of the game at points where we needed him.
Yeah.
Especially on third downs. I mean, those were the downs where we needed him, and we'll go for it on fourth down, and Julio, he's pointing to the sideline saying, "Hey, somebody come get me," and you'll see Harry Douglas have to come in and get him out. You know, so.
But the thing is that he would get up and he would get up with the body language like y'all should be glad I'm even here.
Yeah.
Type of body language. Like he would get up so slow and like he would be looking like he's so put upon, and he'll be like, "Oh man, I'm blessing you. I'm blessing you." Like not man, I'm glad that I'm a wide receiver in the NFL. It was legitimately like everyone take this in.
Yeah.
Because there's no telling how much longer you're going to be seeing this kind of energy. I mean, and I might feel like I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Jamal is agreeing with you. He said Julio would make a 25-yard play, get to the red zone, and we never see him again. Our brother Yuri is in the house, man. Yuri. Next month, brother. I can't wait to see you down there. I'll definitely be there riding on Big Low's back as he takes me piggyback up that hill. Can't wait for those opportunities to go. That would be a sight, right? I would
Is that how we do it?
Low, if
do
you
it
take me
back?
up the hill, piggyback, you need to be on the team. Lisa said, my friends start calling Julio tap out because he was
Wow.
out of critical
Wow.
plays. That happened a lot towards the end. So, Lisa,
Mhm.
again, my criticism is what you're talking about, that last sentence. A lot of that happened at the end. Julio, I'm not saying Julio was absolutely done, but Julio was over the
Yeah.
prime heel, and we still paid him just like we paid Matt, as we shouldn't have that last contract. We shouldn't have paid him as extravagantly as we
And don't
did.
say that too loud. Don't say that
Nah,
too loud. Though.
you're right.
You better not say that too loud. You better be careful.
Hey,
Better be
man.
careful. Those comments were only opinions of Uncle Steve. Those comments do not represent Big Low Country.
We
I'm
shouldn't
just
have
saying.
paid him as extravagantly as we did that last year,
Oh man.
because after that 2018 year, you can say Matt Ryan was not what he was pre 18. He wasn't that guy anymore.
You're right. You're right.
I would have loved to see them sign him to the, those famous 2-year contracts where you can pay him the 1 year and then the next year have the option to get rid of him, still make him, just like they did with Stafford this year. They gave Stafford 2-year, $50-something million, but guaranteeing it. But then next year they can play with the bonus money.
I got a question for you.
I'm sorry, brother, and I'm doing
No,
all this.
you fine,
Y'all
you
make sure. Tell them real quick, man, where you are. Right, quick, pandemic. I want to always make sure we spotlight guys when y'all come in here on the lounge, in the lounge.
Yeah, but appreciate y'all having me on, first of all. And happy Father's Day to everybody out there. And guys, I can find me on Atlanta Falcons Pandemic on all platforms. All you gotta do is just type it in everywhere and it'll pop right up. Ain't no use, you don't have to put the hashtag in, the underscore in, just type in Atlanta Falcons Pandemic and it pops right up. Yeah. But the thought I want to get into you guys' head is too, was it the downplay coming down toward the end? Was it the downplay of Julio Jones, or was it the inconsistent quarterback play of Matt Ryan? Because Matt Ryan has never been able to put together a back-to-back productive season to where he'll throw, like, let's just say, 3,000 yards one season, then he'll have a big, huge drop-off where he's throwing consistently interceptions or not able to complete third downs. So was that the play? Because in 2000, what was that? Was it 19, 18? One of those years where Matt fell off, but Julio was it 19? But Julio was still able to do it because he was doing it with what was the backup?
Matt Schaub.
The red
Matt Schaub. He was performing with Matt Schaub. So we have to wonder, was it Matt Ryan or was it Julio or was it a combination of the both? And if I had to put my money on it, I'm gonna catch slack for this, but it's gonna be on Matt Ryan because Julio, to me, was still showing that he could still make plays. And if there was any receiver or any player for that matter that deserved that kind of money, it would have been Julio. And I'm a fan of Julio, but at the same time, I'm big on production. You show me the consistency. The matter of just talking is just a matter of putting the numbers together. So, but I don't know. I looked at it kind of like from both sides too.
I love that question, and as I got that question going, I'm gonna bring somebody in who can probably answer that. Fresh off of I-75, bring it up, Offset, and the rest of to make that latest Migos track is our
My
buddy,
dog.
our pal, Tidy. Is Quavo over there with you, bro? I can't see the back seat. Is Quavo back there? Or is it just you?
Well, being that I represent Devontae, we don't really run in the Migos circle. We, you
Oh,
know, we more, Jeezy, we Luke, Rick Ross. We got a little Miami connection.
We did it. We
there you
did it.
go.
Oh, that's where you from, I'm finna call you Migo for real. Tidy, that's where you from, man.
No, I'm from Warner Robins, Georgia,
Okay.
right next to
Hotel
Macon.
Nate.
Please
Okay.
don't stop. Oh, please,
Yeah,
David.
I'm in Perry right now. You're right. I was on the road, but I want to pull over and just give my 2 cents on the Julio thing. But before I get into that, I want to wish you fathers a happy Father's Day, and hope all is going well and then but blessings to you.
Thank you, brother.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, brother.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes,
as
sir.
always, we appreciate you stopping in. And in addition to answering the question he said, man, give me your feelings on Julio. I know sometimes you probably doing like me. I start typing and I say, hold on a second, let me pull over and let them know what I want to say. So, brother, the floor is yours, my friend. And I appreciate you dropping in, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Where do I start with this? When Julio left and Arthur Blank spoke on it, I had a real sour taste in my mouth, like a lot of Falcons fans did, about Julio leaving and about his departure and whatnot. Now that the dust has settled a little bit, am I coming in good, y'all? I have feedback.
It was a smidge of feedback. I don't know what's going on, but it seemed like it come in a little. I mean, we can hear you, but it's
Yeah.
a little bit of feedback. I definitely hear you. I would say keep on going. I think you're fine. That
Okay.
probably the corn, because I know out in Perry where the weed grows higher and sometimes the cornfields are a little bit better. So I understand. Go ahead, bro.
Thank you.
Yep.
You
I
know,
will never stop, Tidy. City boy.
it's all good. But what I was gonna say is I felt a certain kind of way, man, and it got to a point where I was even giving Julio a lot of flack publicly about it, man. I had a back and forth with his family and whatnot at one point in time. But now that the dust has settled a little bit and Julio had opportunity to sit down and give his side, I gotta be honest and say I really feel like, based on what I've heard from East Side has a valid point. I can look at it from Arthur Blanks and the Falcon side and say, well, look, I've been hugging you and Matt Ryan and coddling y'all for the last decade, but I'm trying to take my foot a little bit off the pedal and let the people that I hire, make football decisions for me. So, I'm not going to be as accessible to you or any player as I normally would. Maybe you need to go through typical protocol, and maybe that has not always been the steps, prior to whenever this transpired. So I can certainly see on the Blank side, being that he was in the process of hiring a new head coach and a new general manager, maybe he wanted Julio to go in order of hierarchy. Now, from Julio's side, hey man, I've been here 10 years. I'm the most talented player in your franchise history for a consistent amount of for a long period of time. And I put an emphasis on long period because that's going to exclude Dion. I don't consider 5 years a long period of time. So I've done a lot of things for you. My Julio probably looking at this like my 10 years playing for this franchise is the most successful 10 years in franchise history, bar none, including 98, including 1980. So I made a remarkable impact on the field. So, if I'm reaching out to you or my agency is reaching out to you and y'all are giving us the runaround and this is something new to us, I'm like, hey, what's going on? He also cleared up a little bit of the gray area about the Shannon Sharp phone call. He said he did not know that he was being recorded, and I'm gonna take him at face value for that until I have a reason not to. So that takes away a lot of my disdain, because I went into that thinking like, dang, Julio set us up. He set us up with Shannon Sharp and pretty much dissed us, you know. But if he said I didn't know I was on camera, I'm gonna take him at his word until it's proven that his word was false. So long story short, short story long, I see Julio's side too. You know, I see him wanting to sit down with Arthur Blank, and like he said on the podcast, look, you know, if y'all want to go in a different direction, I'm okay with that. But you know, hey, at least sit down with me as a man and have that discussion. So I really see it on each side, as the old saying goes, there's three sides to a story. This side, and somewhere in the middle is the truth. So I really see Julio's side now. I see Arthur's side. And finishing up, I do want to say this. I'm going to give Julio a lot of credit on something that I'm probably not going to give Arthur Blank credit on. And this is something that I feel like maybe Arthur made a misstep on. Right after this happened, Arthur went out publicly and discussing this. And you know, if he felt he had the right to, who am I to say he doesn't? But you're really discussing a player that's still in the NFL at that point in time. Because I remember him talking about this at least 2 times, maybe 3 times. And after the first time he spoke on it, in my mind, I said, okay, that's enough. You don't need to talk about this no more, Arthur Blank. And he kept speaking on the Julio situation. Now, I will give Julio a point over Arthur on this if I'm judging this like a tennis match, because Julio waited and did a professional thing. He did not speak one word of his rift with Arthur Blank until he officially retired from the NFL. And in my opinion, that was the proper and a professional thing to do. So I do feel like he wins in a sense in that aspect. I think now would have been the best time for Arthur Blank to speak on it now that the player has retired. And like I had mentioned before to you, Steve, I don't think Arthur Blank should respond at all because you've already given your side. Julio's given his side. Julio did not speak on this on their most recent podcast.
Right.
He spoke, he said his piece, he was done with it. And when you look at that podcast, you can tell it hurt him that he actually got traded. It hurt him. So, gentlemen, that's all I got, man. It's getting dark out here. I got to get back to Warner Robins here. I got a meeting at 9:30 with my high school. There's a memorial that we're building there, and I let the principal and the high school coach know that I'm going to help them move all those trophies that we have accumulated in our trophy room to the new memorial. You know, all those dozens of region championships, multiple state championships, national championships. Because you know the national championship trophy, Steve, is bigger than the Lombardi and is bigger than the national championship trophy in college. So, guys, I must run.
Nobody gives trophies to cities with 2 names.
All right, Tidy. I hear you, Tidy.
Tell them where you are real quick before you break out, brother. Please tell them where you are. You know we appreciate you coming in as always, brother.
Yeah, I thank y'all for having me, man. You can find me at Atlanta Bird Gang everywhere on social media. And it's been a blast. Y'all have a great night. And again, thank you for having me, Steve.
Man, appreciate you, brother. Man, appreciate you all, man. Get out of there for you,
Tidy.
Tidy, I'm gonna tell y'all, man. I remember that argument me and Tidy were having when he was talking about was that Shannon Sharp thing staged, and I tried to tell everybody that was real. And I remember even the Fox folks in the studio were a little guarded because they were like, does he know he's on live? And then at the very end, you heard Shaq, oh, Julio, you go live. We go live. And I remember that, and I said to myself, I wonder why he did that. Real quick, folks, we got a super chat in here from our brother Rusty Moore. $5 super chat. I appreciate you. Lo, I don't know if you can see the screen or not, but if I don't know.
I sure can, my friend.
Brother,
Hold on 1 second.
I would love for you to read that, and we can.
For sure. Shout out to Russell Moore. He says, "Happy Father's Day, Steve and crew." Says, "I'm Team Julio. He ain't the only one who left on bad terms. We all know the front office is structurally strange." Dun, da, da. That's a Superman chat. You already know what time it is.
Even in the garage and get that little Steve Lounge.
Uncle Steve's Lounge. You know,
I see my brother Pandemic just saying,
it's a
he said, boy, I need to get with
Man,
Uncle
let me tell you
Steve.
something,
We could do a Hall of Notes and we
Man,
could be
what?
together. I will hurry up and fire. I've been looking for a new vocalist since Big Low's laryngitis been happening over the last couple of months. So,
Man.
so, you know,
But I will say, one of the most underrated groups in R&B history.
oh man, me
Oh,
and
sorry.
somebody were talking about mint condition. Just yesterday, we were talking about mint condition, man. Stokely, man. Stokely is one of the most underrated vocalists, especially of the 90s and early 2000s. That cat is the real deal, man.
Yeah.
Real deal.
And
Must
Stokely cool
appreciate
people.
it.
He follows me on TikTok. He cool people.
Oh, does he? Oh, Stokely.
Yeah.
Man, tell Stokely to come on in here,
Shoot. Lo, who don't follow you on TikTok?
man.
Man, I actually don't even post on TikTok that much, man. I don't got that many followers on TikTok now.
But it's what you did every place else, though. That's what did it.
trying to say,
Come on, bro.
look at that. Don't. Hey, let me tell you right quick, Van Diemen. Don't fall for that off.
I was about to call him.
What you talking about?
As soon as he hang up with us, as soon as he finish this pandemic, he gonna be dogging all of us. I needed y'all to keep quiet and let me get my point across. How can I swing my golf clubs and talk to you guys at the same time?
Oh, man.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
He got a caddy over there with him right now.
Nah, man. Well, first of all, Pandemic, I don't think I ever told you, but don't let Up fool you, man. Up bougie. I be telling everybody this. Oh, he always trying to put it on me. Oh, it's bougie, man. Let me tell you, Ugg is bougie. Don't let him fool you, man. Don't let him fool you.
Who's talking to you?
He got the chocolate with a pinky up.
Exactly.
Hey, hold on. As I said before, I can talk because I'm not at the Four Seasons right now. I can be on screen. I can be on screen right now, man. And if you have you heard some clinking, like some teapots and stuff like that clinking in the background? That's what they do at the Four Seasons when they bring you.
Man, don't even listen to that, man. Don't
you,
listen to that. I might be at the Hojo Inn. I might be at the Hojo. That's where I'm at.
Pandemic, we went to the practice the other day, and I had to lug my stuff up there and everything like that. He had handlers at the practice. How you got handlers at practice?
Don't listen to that, man.
Hey,
How you got handlers at practice?
Don't listen to that, man.
All I'm gonna say is I'm not even knocking it big low. I'm not even liking it. All I'm saying is, how can I be down? That's all I want to know. Put me on, bro.
Hey, I'm trying to figure the same thing out myself. Shoot.
Do your thing, man. Put me on, man. I mean, I'm big enough. I can carry a golf club or two. You know what I mean?
Man, shoot.
I can carry your water bottle or something.
Man, look, don't be careful what you ask for, man. Be careful what you ask for.
Man,
listen,
look.
Speaking of what you asked for, I'm gonna put a bow on tonight. But first I want to thank both of you gentlemen for taking the time to join me today. I'm gonna go around. Like I said, pandemic. I know I've had a chance like once or twice to hook up. We got to do better in 25, and that starts with me. So I got to make sure I reach out to you, brother. I just appreciate your podcast, and every time I get a chance, when I see you pop in, I try to take care of it. I know you probably like me a lot. You got to,
I appreciate it, brother.
Oh man, I don't trust me. We talk about you, so trust.
Oh
me.
yeah.
we've talked about you, bro. We
I'm
got
the one
you.
that's on it, y'all. I'm the one that's on it. I appreciate it for sure.
Man. You are the man. And again, as y'all in here, make sure y'all check out Atlanta Falcons Pandemic. He said he's on all the platforms.
Yep.
Make sure y'all give him some love there. My buddy Big Low Country Sports, he was talking to me the other day. Like I said before, when the stuff came in about the training camp tickets, he's trying to make sure because he knows he needs somebody else to carry his stuff. So he made sure that I was getting my
Man,
tickets.
come on,
To
man.
make sure I was,
Come on, man.
Okay, so this is a slightly true story. So when we got there, it was raining. Now, I ain't talking about gully wash raining.
Mhm.
We were down there on the fence. We literally with the players, and like 4 or 5 drops came down. 3 of them might have hit him, but 4 or 5 drops came down. You know that up his whole chair, his whole drink, and left me and his other buddy down there to get wet because we were, raw. And he went running for cover.
Oh no!
He went running for cover. I don't know. I was actually
Man, come
saying
on,
my
man.
hero
It ain't so
guy.
Big Low. Say it ain't so.
Come on.
Hey,
Come on, man.
I would have thought Big Low would have had somebody popping an umbrella for him.
But see, we had an umbrella. We were gonna give him one.
Exactly. I'm Steve had an umbrella. He had somebody holding his umbrella. See, I didn't have that, so I had to go back up,
Well, you did
manually. And what you say?
He was bougie, so
Hey,
That's what I'm saying. Like he had an umbrella.
In the rain, ain't gonna lie to you. I little bougie.
You just hold the umbrella, peeky out. I'm like, okay, all right,
They're gonna thug it out.
do you think? That's what I'm saying. So I made the track back up the hill because I didn't have no umbrella. I was like, oh, okay. Use your umbrella and everything. Then he got to it with the people that were serving the food. The people they had mustard, but they didn't have. Apparently, he only eats spicy brown mustard. He's like, well, you need to go to Publix or something. I was like, what?
Grey Poupon or bust.
Grey
I don't
Poupon.
care. Grey Poupon. Hey man, I'll take this secondhand stuff.
I was like, why you just can't eat the yellow stuff, huh? Like, why it gotta be brown? Like,
Man. Spicy brown, man. Spicy brown.
Oh man.
like I said, Uncle Steve, man, he bougie, man. He can't stand over.
We'll see. And then
Man.
it's early. It's
gonna be
early.
cold.
Wait till we get into season. You'll see. Fellas, it's been a blast, man. I appreciate y'all. I will be on tomorrow for the Monday Minutia, trying to get that kind of cracking back in the regular rotation coming up before training camp, just to get things kind of lathered up as we get into the 2025 season. I appreciate you two guys. More importantly, I appreciate everyone who joined us tonight. If y'all don't mind, as y'all going out, hey, go ahead and hit that subscribe and like on the Pandemics channel, on Big Low's channel, and then for Uncle Steve's Lounge. We appreciate you. As you know, we're going to have fun all the time and talk about what's relevant as far as the Atlanta Falcons are concerned. Everyone, have a beautiful night. We appreciate you. For the fathers, again, one last time, happy Father's Day. We appreciate all you guys. Everyone take care and have a great evening. Thank you.